Hey, welcome everybody. Tonight is our quick little 15-minute info call on Plexus products and how they are for the entire family. I don't know about Janelle and Snell who are joining me tonight, but I get questions a lot about concerned mamas, usually, coming asking about their kids that can't poop or that can't sleep or have anxiety or a whole slew of issues, and they want to help their kiddos with a more naturally minded or holistically minded approach than just throwing a band-aid at them with a prescription from the doctor, with synthetic prescriptions or drugs. And they just want to know, like, what can I do? Let's a little more holistic. So we thought we would talk tonight on how Plexus is the answer. It is a really great tool to use for not only yourself, but for your kids and the entire family. So tonight we have a little bit of experience from my pregnancy that I took my Plexus products on, Janelle's young kid with Plexus products, and Janelle's teens with Plexus products. So we thought we'd kind of cover it all tonight. And hopefully that helps you out and speaks to you a little bit. And then, of course, feel free to ask questions to your friend that sent you this video for more information. So to kick it off for tonight, I was just kind of sitting here thinking about our kiddos. I don't know if you know, but our kids inherit our gut microbiome through birth. So when they are born, they either inherit a really great microbiome or a really out of balance microbiome. And most of the time it's the out of balance microbiome. Most of us have a gut that is 80% bad bacteria and 20% good bacteria, and that should be swapped. And so if our kids are born and they inherit our gut, they're going to get sicker sooner than we might. And so if you stop and think about it, this is happening in society. Our kids are getting sicker sooner. Type 1 diabetes is on the rise, younger and younger. I have multiple friends who have type 1 diabetes kiddos that are diagnosed anywhere between 1 and 4. Other issues that are on the rise, childhood acne. So, think about this. You can maybe put comments in the chat or just think about how many of these you might have in your own family, in your own kiddos. But childhood acne is on the rise. Eczema is on the rise. I know a lot of times when babies are born and they get the cradle cap on their head, we just think that's normal, but that's actually a gut issue. You don't have to have a baby with cradle cap. So that's very common. Anxiety is on the rise. Depression in teens, especially, and anxiety is on the rise. Allergies, whether it's food or can't think of the word, nature, pollen, those are on the rise. Sensory disorders. How many of you had kiddos that have extreme sensory disorders, whether, it's the type of clothes they have to wear or no tags, their socks have to be the right way. Sleep. A lot of kiddos are just not sleeping great anymore. They have a hard time staying asleep or getting to sleep. They're not waking up super rested, even though they got enough sleep. We have a lot of kiddos that are ADD or ADHD. That's a overly used label, I think, but at the same time, it is on the rise where kiddos are just having a hard time focusing. Overweight. This one is one that has been a struggle in my own home, where my kids inherited my own insulin resistance. And so they are struggling with weight as they get older into their teens. I looked up a quick statistic in America. 20% of our kids ages 6 to 18 are overweight, obese, actually. 6 to 18 years old, 20%, and it's on the rise. Constipation, this is a big one in our kiddos. How many kids do you know that are on Miralax? I think Janelle and Janelle, we're going to talk about that tonight. But that's a common way to solve it, and it doesn't need to be the route that parents take. It doesn't need to be your only tool. The other ones I was thinking about, low energy and cranky. We just have a lot of kids that are either colicky when they're born, and we just slap that label on there and say, oh, sorry, you got a colicky baby. Well, no, actually you got a baby with a bad microbiome, not a bad one, but a imbalanced microbiome, and we can fix it. Picky eaters. That's the other one I was thinking a lot about, is that kids are just getting pickier and pickier with their food. And the reason is there's sugar in everything, all the processed stuff. And so if you feed your gut sugar, it wants more sugar. And all of a sudden, carrots don't taste sweet. Peas don't taste sweet. Peppers don't taste sweet anymore. And they just want graham crackers and goldfish and fruit snacks because those are super sweet. But if you get rid of that processed stuff, all of a sudden, carrots taste good again. Grapes are amazing. Strawberries are like nature's candy, and the kids will love them. But it depends on what we're feeding them and what their microbiome wants to eat. And we just need to reset it so that they want real food. So those are just some of the ones I was thinking about. In addition to just foods not being grown in great soils, pick early, fluoride in our toothpaste, like it's all around us. And so supplementation is a really great tool to just add in support and rebalance our kiddos as well as ourselves. So we're gonna cover quite a few products tonight. These are just different tools you could add to your tool belt. Don't feel like you have to do all of them at once. I have slowly added things in as my family has needed them to see what is beneficial for my family. So tonight we're gonna start off with Janelle talking about the triplex and sharing a little bit about how it's helped her kiddos, and how it's the root system for anybody.
Thanks, Kara. And I can tell you, I am a second grade school teacher. I've been a teacher for 22 years. And all of those things Tara described, I see it in my classroom every day, every year. The amount of kids that are overweight, I see the snacks that they're bringing. It's usually all processed. They're drinking chocolate milk every day. Don't get me started on school lunch. Like there's so many things that they're doing on a daily basis that's hindering. And then I see it in their attention and their focus and their behavior and their bathroom habits. It's 100% gotten worse since I started teaching 22 years ago. I have been taking Plexus for about 7 years now. And probably 6 months to a year after I started my own children on them. And at the time, they were 12 and 14. My daughter, who was 12 at the time, struggled severely, especially in the wintertime with eczema. She would get it like right here in her, like where her arm bends and then on the back of her knees. Super red, super like wet. It was just gross. And then every winter, she always got at least one round of strep throat and would go on an antibiotic for that. And then oftentimes would get it again. So for her, I started her on the triplex, which is what I started on, is our 3 basic products. It is our pink drink. A lot of people know Plexus for their pink drink. And what the pink drink does is it helps with your gut health. It also helps reduce inflammation in the body. Kara's holding up the sticks for me because I don't have mine handy right now. But you just mix it in about 16 ounces of water and drink it once a day. That is going to help, like I said, with your gut health, reducing inflammation, balancing your blood sugars, cutting those cravings, and wanting or helping just anybody to crave healthy foods. And like I said, super easy, especially for kids to drink. And it's full of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, so good for you. And I have a lot of people like, oh, is it safe for kids? And what I want to say is it's better than the Coca-Cola you're giving them and the Gatorade you're giving them and the Powerade and all the things and the juice. Yes, it's crushed plants. So yes, totally safe and so much better than the other crap that they're drinking. And then the other 2 products are capsules. It is our ProBio 5, which is a probiotic, and our BioCleanse, which is a magnesium and vitamin C supplement. Those 2 products work together. Kara's holding them up right now. And I love because they're gel caps. They are not what I refer to as like horse capsules that you have to like literally cut in half because they're big and chalky. They're really easy for kids to swallow. And if kids, adults, I'm surprised how many adults can't swallow pills. Sorry if you can't, no offense, but if you can chew food and swallow it, I feel like you can swallow our capsules. But if not, you can open them up and stick them in like yogurt or pudding or something. Not necessarily applesauce because the acidity will kind of diminish the effects, but like a Greek yogurt would be a great option to just sprinkle it in and eat it that way if you need to. But otherwise, you just take those before you go to bed at night. Most people take 2 of each. The probiotic is going to go in and it is going to put the good gut bugs in, but it's also going to break down the bad. So it's getting all of the crap out of your system while putting in the good. And then the BioCleanse comes in and it helps to gently release all those toxins from your body. Some people that are severely constipated can have like up to 20 pounds of poop inside of them. So we want to clean all of that out. It's going to go inside those 2 and make everything in your insides really pink and shiny. So that really simple system of drinking a pink drink during the day and taking those capsules before bed are going to reset your gut microbiome. They're going to reduce inflammation and balance blood sugars, which is going to have just an overall healing effect on your entire health. Once my daughter started that system, her eczema since then, I mean, I can probably count on one hand the amount of flare-ups. They're nothing like they used to be that she has gotten. And we thought she had strep throat this winter and it wasn't. It was just a little scratchy throat, but she is not getting strep throat like she used to. My son started on that same system He didn't have any of the skin issues and strep throat type things, but he had been on Miralax most of his 6th grade year for what they called functional constipation. This was pre-Plexus, before I even knew Plexus existed. And I didn't know how bad Miralax was, because at that point I was very trusting with my doctors and just said, oh, my doctor's prescribing it, it must be okay. As I've started Plexus and done more research and looked into more holistic views, I've noticed that a lot of doctors just write a Band-Aid prescription, and there's an ingredient in Miralax. I can't tell you what it is. I don't know the name of it, but it's the same thing they put in antifreeze. That should not be taken long term. Maybe for a few days if you're like desperate, but that's it. And so many people take it every day. He poops like a champ now in a natural way, and no more like Miralax for him. So when I hear Miralax, I'm always like, oh my gosh, you have got to get off of that, because it is destroying your insides. So that's what I wanted to share.
Sorry, I couldn't find the right button to unmute. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. I was just going to drip into that my kiddo had the eczema in the creases as well, because eczema is a candida yeast overgrowth in the gut. And think about yeast, and when you make bread, it loves moist areas. And so the back of the knees and the elbows are super common to get it right there. My kiddo also had molluscum warts, those little white warts all over. And he would get like the triangle Christmas tree rash that they don't know what it's from on the back of the back. Just a word to the wise, anytime they have mystery issues that they can't diagnose something with, it's a gut issue. And so target your gut, it'll go away. And so his both cleared, all three of those things cleared up for him as well by adding in Plexus products for him. So the next one I wanted to cover actually are some of the kids line products that I added in for him. And Chanel is going to talk about those a little bit and how they've helped her family.
So when I started Plexus, we didn't have a kids line, but my daughter had the same issues. It was massive constipation all the time. And the doctor had her on Miralax, but she always seemed just sick and tired and not functioning quite like I felt she should be. And then when I started Plexus, it immediately helped me. So I put her on the ProBio 5 and the Bio Cleanse. And I would just sprinkle it into like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And she would eat it that way because she hated yogurt and she hated applesauce, and she eats much better now. But that was what I did for her. And now that she's 13, she can take the pills and we don't have any issues. And then in January, I adopted a little boy whose birth mother was on a number of things, including smoking her whole pregnancy. So he was born with several issues: constipation, terrible eczema, all of those things that they know are associated with the mother's smoking or whatever throughout his throughout the pregnancy. And so we put him also on the Bio Cleanse and the ProBio 5 just in his bottle, just a little bit in his bottle. And it, for the most part, has cleared up everything. We're still working on the eczema a little bit. He has flares occasionally, but it's going away. And that's an amazing thing. Now, as he gets a little older and can chew, he only has 2 teeth, so he can't chew a whole lot right now, but we can work in this kid's X Factor multivitamin probiotic. So this is a full probiotic, full kids multivitamin, and it comes in a little capsule. Tastes like tropical punch. You just chew it and it's down. I love that this is not a gummy, because if you're giving your kid a gummy vitamin, you're giving them sugar, and it is not helping anything. And the amount of nutrients that a child needs to grow is massive. The nutrients that their brain needs to develop is hard to get in just their food alone, which is why I love that Plexus also has a little drink. Block my face, sorry about that. It has a drink for kids. This is our Mega Kids microbiome, and it has a prebiotic to help feed the good bacteria in the gut. It also is packed full with DHA, omegas to help with brain development. This is what he will be going on instead of apple juice. that they they told me, because he's adopted, I spend a lot of time with the state health department, and they said at a year old you start giving them apple juice so that they can get those vitamins and minerals. And I went, okay. And then I left and went, no, 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 he's going to be getting this, because this has the vitamins and minerals without all of the sugar. Apple juice is straight sugar with vitamins and minerals, and I can get him that without damaging the progress we've made in his gut with the sugar in the juice. So I'm super, super excited that I have this to give this baby that I didn't have to give my oldest. And it'll be interesting for me to see how their health is reflected in this, because he doesn't have the constipation that she had for 6 years. He doesn't have all those issues. And it'll be fun to kind of compare and contrast my kids with how this particularly with the multivitamin changes his health over the long term, especially with the issues that he had from birth. So I love the kids line. I think it's an amazing thing for all of the children. And parents can drink this too. I mean, it's pretty tasty. I've had it a couple times.
I've drank it too, and I've every now and then, if I just want like a yummy little snack, I'll just pop a kid's vitamin because it's like sugar free and it's tasty. So I love those products as well. I was just going to add in that the kids microbiome drink is great for picky eaters. And I love how you said that your 13-year-old is not nearly as picky as she used to be. So yes, she probably grew up a little bit and outgrew some things, but as you fixed her gut, food tastes good. Real food tastes good when they have a more balanced gut. So I'm just going to wrap up with 4 last products. Again, don't feel like you have to add all these in, but we just want you to know that there are healthier tools out there than apple juice. I cringe that our medical system is still recommending apple juice. Apple juice was never meant to be drink. You should eat your apple with the fiber, not drink all just the sugar. So anyway, a little bit of story about my kiddos. So when I started Plexus about 7 years ago, when I started adding it in, I wanted to get pregnant. So I started myself and was able to balance my insulin resistance enough and my hormones that I was able to finally get pregnant with my 4th baby. And that pregnancy was completely different than all of my other pregnancies. And so I took my products, doctor approved the entire pregnancy, and had an amazing pregnancy. I did not gain an unreasonable amount of weight. I was not tired all the time. Short little naps instead of sleeping all the time did it for me. I didn't feel like it beached well. I could stay limber and exercise my entire pregnancy. And I didn't have gestational diabetes that time with my pregnancy. And then after I had my baby is my best eater by far, my best pooper. She didn't have the constipation that my other 3 babies did. All 4 of my babies are C-section babies, and so they don't get the benefit of coming through vaginal birth and getting all that great bacteria. And so adding in the kids drink and the vitamins was super great for them. I also put Probio 5 in their bottles, in my 3rd and then in my 4th bottle, just to give them those extra good probiotics to help balance their gut. So anyway, she did struggle with some seizures after she was born. And one of the things we added in the last year and a half is our electrolyte drink. It's called Hydrate. This replaces things like Gatorade and sport drinks. It's an electrolyte drink. It has all 5 in there, as well as vitamin C. So it has magnesium, potassium. I'm trying to think all of them off the top of my head. Sodium, couple others, but anyway, it's full of all 5, which is super nice. If you have blood cramps, it's all in here. You don't have to eat a whole bunch of bananas, just drink this. If you're not sleeping great, drink this. But she hasn't had a seizure in a year and a half. Maybe she's outgrown them, but at the same time, maybe not. Maybe it's actually helping. We actually are always low on sodium, me and my girls, genetically. And so I feel like her seizures were an electrolyte imbalance, just my mama gut telling me. And so when I added this in, they stopped, and her energy has been super stable. She just functions a lot better. So we have an electrolyte drink. For the mamas out there, for anybody really, but we have an active drink. And this one is a caffeine drink. It's a natural caffeine. It's a healthy version to things like 5-Hour Energies and Rock Stars and all those terrible, terrible energy drinks out there. I cringe to even call it an energy drink because it is full of things like broccoli and turmeric and tart cherry. but it tastes like peaches. It's super good. And there's a couple other flavors as well. But this one actually helps you to make more nitric oxide in your body. It helps to keep your blood vessels open and flexible so that you have maximum oxygen flowing throughout your body, which just helps with everything, as well as giving you a little bit of boost of energy throughout the day. And then the last couple I wanted to talk about were just that we have Vital Biome and we have Mega X. Mega X is amazing for kids. It's more omegas. It's a complete omega, so it has omegas 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9, which means they get brain help, heart help, sleep help, mood help, all the things. And kids need a ton of Mega X or a ton of omegas as they're growing. Boys need 3 times as many omegas as girls, which is why they tend to have more mood issues and more ADD issues when they're younger. So adding this in is amazing. It's a gel, so you can poke a hole in it and squeeze it into something if they can't swallow it. But adding that in helps amazingly with sleep, with mood, and with sensory issues. A lot of our kiddos with anxiety or sensory issues, they do really well when we add in the Mega X. And then the last one I want to talk about is Vital Biome. This is 8 straight probiotics, but 2 of them are psychobiotics, which mean they control mood. And they've been shown to help with anxiety, depression, and overall stress. And so this is another one that you could add in for you or your kiddos if they are struggling with some extra anxiety and depression that just didn't help by balancing the 3 root issues, which again are balance their blood sugars, control their inflammation, and then balance their gut. And if you target those 3 root issues, everything will get better. Instead of targeting a Band-Aid and having to have a certain thing, one product for every Band-Aid, you can just target the root issues and everything can improve. And so that's what we love about Plexus and how it can be a tool. Now, I will say, it is a tool. It is not a magic pill. You have to also cut out the processed junk. Do you have to do it all overnight? No, but just start replacing Gatorade with Hydrate. Just start adding in a few more vegetables, a few more fruits, and slowly it will switch over to where they're eating more whole foods and they are just feeling better and better. And make sure they're moving. Get them out, get them playing, get them off screens, get more movement into them so that their body can heal itself. Plexus is just a tool that's going to speed that up, and it's going to make it super enjoyable for them and you as they grow and as you are trying to get them feeling better and more balanced. So anyway, that's what we wanted to share with you tonight. If you have any questions, just reach out to your friends that might have sent you this video. Hopefully it kind of hit home and gave you some hope and some ideas of how you might be able to add in some more holistic approaches to just raising your kiddos. I know it's helped me, Janelle, and Tanil so much, and our kids are thriving because of it. So thanks for listening tonight, guys. See ya.